Right. Good afternoon. Today, as you know that you have a midterm test, online test, right? So I have uploaded some questions. In the LMS. Right, so these are the questions. Daily products incorporations. I will discuss these questions about taking 1.5 hours. You will already the test is set from 3 o'clock today. You have 1 hour to do the test, right? I will be covering some fundamental aspects that we have discussed before, right? So that will help you to answer the questions in the midterm test, right? So first one, actually all these questions are based on this case. This is not actually a big case. This case covers all the actually simple case study covers all the fundamental topics that we have covered under international finance, right? So Gailey Products Incorporation is a medium-sized producer of Gailey juice drinks with groves in Indian River Country, Florida. Until now, the company has confirmed its operations and sales to the United States, but its CEO George Gaynor wants to expand into the Pacific Rim, right? The first step would be to set up sales subsidiaries in Japan and Australia, then to set up production plant in Japan, and finally to distribute the product throughout the Pacific Rim. The firm's financial manager, Ruth, enthusiastic about the plan, but she is worried about the implementation of the foreign expansion on the firm's financial management process. She has asked you, the firm's most recently hired financial analyst, to develop our tutorial package that explains the basics of multinational financial management. The tutorial will be presented at the next board of directors meeting to you to start. Stumids has supplied you with the following list of questions, right? So that is the background for these questions. Actually, this sometimes when you answer these questions, you don't have to familiar with every single thing that is in the case, right? So some direct questions are there. There are some calculations as well, right? So this actually case covers all the fundamental aspects of international finance, right? So take a few minutes and check whether you can answer those questions. Yeah, first question is what is multinational financial management? Multinational corporation. What is a multinational corporation? Why do firms expand into other countries? We have discussed this before as well. We know that at the after the World War One, most of the firms saw that there are so many opportunities in the other parts of the world as well, other countries in the world, right? Therefore, they expanded their production to see the production efficiency, sometimes to avoid some political hurdles, political and regulatory hurdles. They move into the other countries, right? We discussed this in the very first session. And they know that if they move into the other countries, they can broaden their market, they can have a expanded market for their products. And they found that the other one is they found that they can find raw materials and new technology easily if they move into the international business, right? So that when you answer this question, you can discuss about all those things. And the other thing is that diversity by establishing a worldwide production facilities and markets, firms know that they can impact the adverse economic trends in the single country, right? So that they can face any competition from other countries and other companies if they establish well or diversely establish their business, and to retain some customers, right? So attract some new customers, right? It is a good way to attract new customers to their product by establishing their, or by incorporating multinational corporation, or by expanding their business into international level, right? Especially you can talk about how they can expand their business through raw material, as a raw material seeker. Through the new technology, they can expand into the other countries, right? So those things you should discuss in your answer when you answer the first one, right? First question. Any question? Online student, if you have any question, please message me, please ask, right? I think it is not a difficult question. It is easy. Why firms expand their businesses into multinational level or international level? So that is the question, right? Right. So the question number part B, what are the 5 major factors that distinguish multinational financial management from financial management as practiced by a purely domestic firm? What are the 5 major factors that distinguish multinational financial management from financial management as practiced by a purely domestic firm? We saw that even the firms are purely domestic, they still face the impact of international business. They still face the threat from the international business, right? They still have to compete with the international market, right? Do you have any question, any answer for this? When you compare the multinational business, multinational financial management with the financial management, we know that definitely there is a big difference. What is that? in multinational finance, we use different currency denomination. We have to deal with different currencies because multinational companies are located in different countries. Their subsidiaries are located in different countries. In that case, they have to deal with different currencies when they manage their business, right? What else? Compared to the multinational firms, domestic firms, multinational firms faces a huge political risk, right? If it is located, or if it is doing business, if the company is doing only the local market, only in the local market, it is not a big matter, right? Political uncertainty or political impact on the business environment is not a big matter. But if it is expanded into the other countries, or if the company is expanded their business to the different countries, they will be facing huge political risk. All the changes happen in the political environment of those countries influence the business, international business or business of the particular country. So ultimately it will be affecting the multinational companies operations as well. Therefore, political risk is highly influencing to the multinational business, right? Multinational financial management, right? When we take the decisions, we should not only consider the quantitative aspects, we have to consider the qualitative aspects like political risk as well. This is one of the major area that we have to consider in international finance, right? Because we know that this political risk change the business totally. It can make it do the business upside down, right? Therefore, it is very important to incorporate the impact of political risk in managing multinational firms, right? And the other one is economic and legal ramifications. When you compare the domestic and international market, international business or multinational companies face different economic and legal ramification because they are dealing with different countries, they are doing their business in different countries. Therefore, they will be facing big economic and political legal ramifications, right? They should be aware about what are the legal aspects or legal environment of the other countries that they are doing business with, and they should know what are the possibilities of establishing their business, what are the possibilities of improving their business in those particular countries. Therefore, it is important to understand the legal and economic environment or ramification of those countries, right? And we should not, when we move on to the international business, we should not forget the role of the government, right? We have to think about the government aspects, I mean the government's role when we establish our international business, when we manage our international business, because governments are the authorized agency which always take the decisions about the economic condition of the particular country, right? So if the government take a very unfavorable decisions for the multinational companies, so they have to they have to consider those factors to account when they take decisions, right? Therefore, directly impact the changes in government and other rules and regulations imposed by the government affects the business environment, it affects the business affairs, it directly affects the multinational companies business, right? And apart from that, finally we have to think about the language and cultural differences. If we are doing business only in one country, we have to make sure that the language of, we have to understand only one language, right? If we are dealing with different countries, we have to understand at least the language spoken speak in those countries. Otherwise it will be very hard to manage effectively the business. And the culture, that is also influencing. When we establish our subsidiaries in those countries, we have to think whether uh, we have understood the culture of those countries, right? We have to follow always our uh, business, or we have to run our business based on the we have to conduct our business operations based on the culture of that country. If we do anything that is opposed to the culture of the country, it will not be uh, good for the survival of the multinational company, right? The particular country's government will not be allowing them to continue their business in the particular country if we do not respect the culture of those countries. Therefore, those factors we have to consider when we establish financial management practices of a multinational company, right? We have to think about the different currency denomination, political risk, economic and legal ramifications, the role of the government, and the language and the cultural differences, right? Question C. Consider the following illustrative exchange rates. You have given Japanese yen, Australian dollar, right? US dollar required to buy 1 unit of foreign currency. In order to buy 1 unit of Japanese yen, they need only 0.009 US dollar, right? In order to buy 1 Australian dollar, they need only 0.65 US dollar, right? So the question is, are these currency prices direct quotations or indirect quotations? Direct or indirect? These are the prices of foreign currencies explained in US dollars, right? So how would you answer that? Prices of foreign currencies explained in US dollars. What is that? Is it direct or indirect? Yeah, corporate governance differences also you can mention when the company is doing multinational business. We have to think about the corporate governance differences as well. That is also right to answer. But here in this question it is asked to mention 5 major, then you have to think about the major 5 and then comes to this kind of points, right? But remember, at the midterm test you get some multiple choice questions, right? So by doing this it will help you to answer those questions, but it doesn't mean that by doing these questions only you can answer the MCQs, right? Midterm test, right? So you should have already done some homework. I know that we have now almost finished, I think 11 weeks of this subject. Therefore you must have enough knowledge, or you have to read all the topics, not the today's one, not the derivatives. All other topics will be tested at the midterm test. Okay. Okay, so what is the answer? Is it a direct or indirect? Right? What do you think? It is a direct or indirect? Okay, give me 5 minutes, please. Right. So what is your answer? Did you try it? Is it a direct or indirect quotation? Here these prices are the prices of foreign currencies, right? Expressed in dollars. They are called direct quotations, right? Prices of the other currencies are expressed in dollars. Therefore, this is called the direct quotations. Yes, right. Kumarasiri, yes, you are right. That is a direct quotation. Second one, calculate the indirect quotations for yen and Australian dollars. Calculate the indirect quotations for yen and Australian dollars. Now, direct quotations are given. No? You have to calculate the indirect quotation. Right. What is the answer? Indirect quotations you have to calculate for yen and Australian dollars. Right? What is the direct quotation for Japanese yen? Japanese yen direct quotation is 0.009, right? For Australian dollars, it is 0.650, right? Now you have to find the indirect quotations. Indirect quotation means 1 divided by 0.009. 1 Japanese yen equals 0.009 US dollars. So this is equal to 111. Answer is given by Kumarasiri. 111.11. In order to buy 1 US dollar, they have to pay 111 Japanese yen. Right? So again, the 1 divided by 0.650, which is equal to 1.538 Australian dollars. Okay? So that is the direct quotation. Right? Next question. Part C, number 3. What is the cross rate? Calculate the two cross rates between yen and dollars, Australian dollars. What is the cross rate? right? What is the cross rate? Cross rate is the exchange rate between any two countries that does not involve US dollars is called cross rate, right? Any two countries exchange rate that does not involve US dollars, right? So calculate the cross rate between two countries. So we have to calculate the cross rate between yen and Japanese yen and Australian dollars. So cross rate is so cross rate is, have you calculated Kumarasiri? Did you get the answer? What is the cross rate? Yen cross rate. I have there is a problem with this pen, so I will be using only the mouse to write, so it will take time. So cross rate is yen divided by US dollars. Okay, so I will write the, not US dollar, yeah, it's yen divided by US dollar. This is the equation of US dollar, right? US dollar times US dollar divided by USD divided by Australian dollar. Right? So we can cancel this to this when yen divided by Australian dollar. Right? Finally, you should get this 72.22, right? Okay, answer is 72.22. 72.22. What is the cross rate for the other currency? This is this much of yen for 1 Australian dollar, right? This much of yen, 72.22 yens for 1 Australian dollar, right? And how many Australian dollars per yen? We have already found that 1.53538 multiplied by 0.009, right? 0.009. Okay, this is Australian dollars per yen. This is yen per Australian dollars. This one shows the Australian dollars per yen. Okay, that's it. That is the cross rate, right? You can see that two cross rates are reciprocal of the other. Reciprocal of the other one. Right, there may be so many other ways to calculate the cross rate. So anyway, this answer should be 0.0138. Right, so this much of dollars per yen. Okay. See part 3. What part 3 we did, right? Assume Geely products can produce a liter of orange juice, and ship it to Japan for $1.75. If the firm wants a 50% markup on the product, what should the orange juice sell for in Japan? What should the orange juice sell for in Japan? Now to buy $1, we know how much is the price that we have to pay. To buy $1, we have to pay 111.11 yens. We have found that, right? Marcel, you okay? Are you following? Okay, so what is the answer? See, this Geely product can produce a liter of orange juice and ship to Japan for $1.75. If the firm wants 50% markup on the product, what should the orange juice sell for in Japan? So what is the price? We know that juice right, $1 is equal to 111 yen, 111.11 yen, right? So what is the price that they should sell the juice for? They should sell the juice for this times 1.75. We have to multiply this from 1.75. That is the value of the juice pack, right? So on top of that, they have to pay a 50% markup. They have to keep a 50% markup. That means we have to multiply this again from 1.75. 1.5, right? So when you simplify this, you get 1.5. You get the price in yen. You get something, some figures here in yen. That is the amount that they sell the juice liter in Japan. Right? Did you get the answer? Right? This is the amount that you have to pay in yen to buy 1 liter of orange juice. Right? Next question. Now assume Geely Products begin producing the same liter of orange juice in Japan. The product cost 250 yen to produce and ship to Australia, where it can be sold for 6 Australian dollars. What is the US dollar profit on the sale? Now Geely product produce the same juice in Japan, right? They are going to sell it, price is at 250, and apart from that they are going to sell it in 6 Australian dollars in UK. So what is the profit? Cost is 250 yens, and you have to calculate the profits. That is easy way. How much is the actual cost? You have to incur 250 yens to produce this, right? So if you multiply this from 0.138, you have to multiply this from 0.0138, then you get Australian dollar value of this yen, right? Australian dollars AD I write because it's very hard to write without the pen. Australian dollars, it is going to be 3.45 Australian dollars, right? You multiply this 250 from 0.138, right? 3.45 Australian dollars, right? So in order to convert this into US dollars, right? No, first we have to do they are going to sell this in US. No, they are going to sell this in Australia for $6 Australian dollars. The question is, what is the US dollar profit on the sale, right? So in order to find out how many Australian dollars you can get from this transaction, you have to deduct this 3.45, right? 3.45 from 6. then you get 2.55, right? 2.55 is Australian dollars, right? Now you have to convert this into US dollars, right? How to convert this into US dollars? We have already calculated at the beginning. 1 US dollar equals 1.538 Australian dollars, right? 1 US dollars equal 1.538 Australian dollars. Here at the beginning side, this one. So if you divide this from 1.538, 1.538 1.538 you can find out the US dollar value of the profit in US dollars, right? Okay, did you get that answer, Swarnalatha? $1.538 is the exchange rate between US dollar and Australian dollar, right? So this figure is in Australian dollars. In order to convert this into US dollars, we divided that from 1.538. You get some figures here. 1.66. Answer is 1.66 US dollars. Okay. Right? Shall we move on to the other one? Next question is question number 6 of part C. What is exchange rate risk? What is exchange rate risk? We know we have been in this morning even we talk about this uncertainty, the volatility in the price level, exchange rate. Here in the exchange rate we talk about the volatility in the exchange rate because of the floating exchange rate system. the volatility in the exchange rate increase the uncertainty of the cash flows, right? So when we convert the currency from one country to the other country, so this volatility risk increases, right? So this increases the uncertainty of the exchange rate. Therefore, that's what we discussed in the morning. I don't know, you can remember, you attended the class. We have to mitigate this risk, exchange rate risk, right? So this what is exchange rate means, you have to say that there is a volatility in the exchange rate. As a result of that, cash flows of the country, of the companies would be volatile, right? When we convert the currency into the other country's currency, so that uncertainty increases due to the exchange rate risk. Okay. Part D, briefly describe the current international monetary system. What is the different types? What are the different types of exchange rate systems? Right, we know all the countries' monetary system is managed by the monetary authorities. If a country is trading with other countries, right, they have to control their monetary system. They have to, manage their monetary system very well, because that would be affected with the exchange rate volatility as well. International monetary system is a framework within which the exchange rates are determined. We know how exchange rates determined in the international market, right? Supply and as it is in the goods and services market, exchange rates also determined with the demand and supply, right? Right. So we have, when we determine the exchange rate, we should know the supply and demand for various national currencies, and the international monetary system is also follow the international trade and capital flows, right? International monetary system also established on the international trade and the capital flows between countries. So that is actually the answer for that part. Briefly describe the current international monetary system. What are the different types of exchange rate system? We know that there are different types of exchange rate system. Floating exchange rate system, managed floating, or we can say freely floating, fixed exchange rate system, or peg arrangements. Different exchange rate systems are those. Basically we have fixed and flexible, right? Fixed and floating exchange rate. Next question, please take some time to answer that. What is the difference between spot rate and the forward rate? When is the forward rate at a premium to the spot rate at a discount? Right. What is your answer? What is the difference between spot rates and the forward rates? Right. What is the answer? Kumarasiri, have you done it? What is the spot rate and the forward rate? First you have to answer that. We know forward rate is the current, spot rate is the current exchange rate. When we need the currency, we have to use the spot rate to convert the currency for the immediate delivery, right? So we will be using spot rate to convert the currency for the immediate delivery, right? What is the forward rate? Forward rate is the rate that we buy currency for delivery at the agreed date in the future. Sometimes we might enter into a forward contract for 3 months, right? After 3 months, we will be paying the agreed amount to buy those currencies, right? That is the forward rate. Yeah, future average exchange rate is the forward rate. So what is the discount or premium? If the forward currency is less valuable than the spot currency, what does that mean? What does that mean? If the forward currency is less valuable than the spot currency, what does that mean? We call it a discount to the spot rate, right? Forward currency is less valuable than the spot currency. That means current price is higher than the forward rate. So we call it a discount rate, discount currency, right? If the forward currency is more valuable than the spot rate, we call that it is selling at a premium, right? So that is the reciprocal, I mean two sides of the coin. If the forward currency is more valuable, then we call it more valuable than the spot rate, we call it a premium. If the forward currency is less valuable than the spot rate, we call it a discount. We know that firms use forward market to hedge the adverse exchange rate movements or fluctuations that might affect the cash flows of the business. So in that case, Right? So I think we have only one question left. What is the interest rate parity? What is interest rate parity? Currently you can exchange one yen for 0.0095 US dollars in 30 days forward market, and the risk-free return rate on 30-day securities is 4% in both Japan and United States. Does interest rate parity hold? If not, which securities offer the highest expected return? What is interest rate parity? Interest rate parity. Interest rate parity, if interest rate parity holds, investors should expect to earn the same profit or same return in all countries after adjusting for exchange rate risk, right? If the interest rate parity holds, interest rate parity means everywhere you can borrow and lend at the same rate, right? So that we call it interest rate parity, equality of interest rate, right? There will be no cash inflows or outflows if the interest rate parity exists. Okay, so interest rate parity holds that investors should expect to earn the same return in all countries after adjusting for the exchange rate risk, right? Here in this example, exchange rate right here, exchange rate is 1 yen right, equals 0.995 sorry 0.0095 dollars, right? Risk-free rate is 4%, that is the annual rate, so we have to divide this from 12. 4 divided by 4% divided by 12, right? That is the RH, home currency interest rate, and RF is again 4% divided by 12, right? 4% divided by 4% divided by 12, because interest rate parity is there, right? RF equals RH. Okay, if the interest rate parity holds, spot rate is 1 point, the forward rate. What is the forward rate? Forward rate is point 0.0095 0095, right, divided by spot rate. Spot rate is the one we have to find out, SR, right, spot rate. This is equal to interest rate parity 1.003, that is 4% divided by 12, which is equal to 0.003, 0.333, 0.0033, sorry, 0.0033, right, 1.003 here, 1 plus R, right, forward rate divided by spot rate equals 1 plus RH divided by 1 plus RF, right, 1 plus RH is 1.0033, right, 1 plus RH is also 1.0033, right. So this is equal to 1, this side is equal to 1, SR is equal to, spot rate is equal to 0.0095, $0.0095, right. If the interest rate parity holds, spot rate is also equal to $0.0095, but the spot rate is 0.90. Yeah, what is the question? Let me read the question again. Both Japan and does the interest rate parity hold? If not, which security offers the highest expected return? That is the question, right? Here the spot exchange rate is, if the interest rate parity holds, spot rate is 0.0095, but in the question at the very beginning it is given, right, in this table. If you refer the table in the question, it is given that spot rate is 0.0090, 0.0090, right. Right. So which security offer the highest return? Japanese security or US security? Japanese security or US security offer the highest interest rate, highest expected return. you have to use that arbitrage model to calculate that. I'm not going to do that much detail now. So anyway, if you can understand that whether interest rate parity hold or not using the same equation, that is enough for the moment, right, for the midterm test. So that is all that I will be doing today. So make sure that you cover all the topics up to purchasing power parity before you do your midterm test, right? So it is only 1 hour test, so you can have only one attempt, right? Only one attempt is allowed, right? Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much.